You know, they don't do that anymore. They don't offer like holy water at the church or anything like that anymore.
They wanted
COVID.
to go off
COVID.
out to sea around here in Alex, and they didn't want to do that with the,
I have searched COVID out here.
they got a replacement pump.
I don't think you're the only one that hasn't figured it out yet.
When I took the class, the captain said that he could look at the sea, maybe the rescue by
Is that your new phone
It was
fix?
being delivered.
That's your phone fix?
I'd go get it.
And this guy Derek, he's got 7. So his daughter's son was about 40 with him, and he said after this, man, that was pretty hot business.
I think it's that bad. You guys are.
Just a little.
No.
I mean, it's warm in
And they
here.
were outside, I guess they were almost in the Bahamas, but they were rescued by the, U.S.
Can we open the windows?
No, it's way warmer outside. It's 80 degrees outside. It's not 80 in here.
It is usually 80 degrees in here. It's 85. That thing says 85.
That's for the central unit. You have to go to each unit and turn them on and set it to cool.
They are set to cool.
Okay, then. Well, that's what I'm hearing from the horse's mouth.
No, they were on all day. We put them on all day because we knew it was gonna be 90. We did. We put them on in the morning.
You need blackout curtains.
My new building.
New building?
You know, they could put that film on the windows that would reduce the,
UV. Yeah. No, I know a company.
not spending a lot of money.
You know.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Is that film?
No. I know window tinting company, but they do commercial businesses as well.
Can't regulate temperatures already. All right. Good evening, everybody. It is now 7 o'clock, and I'd like to call the regular session meeting for May 17th, 2022 to session. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt.
Here.
Vice Mayor Sui.
Here.
Commissioner Romanek.
Here.
Commissioner McQuaid.
Here.
Mayor Orndorff.
Here. If you could have Robert Kenyon deliver the invocation, please, and the salute of the flag.
Heavenly Father, what a privilege to even face the flag tonight, know it's ours. Our respect not only is for that, but for all it represents, like leadership in government, folk that give of their hours, time on the various committees, and all the work that takes place. Tonight, we ask your blessing upon the decisions of this particular commission in session. We would pray that your guidance, direction would be with them, not only in these hours, but in the hours in between. We covet and ask of this now, in the name of God the Father, Jesus Christ the Son, and the Comforter, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being conducted in accordance to the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Clerk, is there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, we have 2. We have the addition of resolution item number 11, which is an amendment of sports and entertainment district, and also the addition of resolution item number 12, which is authorizing a memorandum of settlement agreement concerning Block 260, Lot 1, the former Wheaton Glass Factory, and there's also copies of the settlement agreement by the agendas, if you want to review them.
Thank you. Bills?
Move to pay the bills.
Second motion.
We have a motion second to pay the bills. Roll call.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Make a motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the following minutes and proceed with the regular order of business. April 5th, 2022, closed session. April 19th, 2022, closed session. April 19th, 2022, regular meeting.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve and dispense minutes. Any comments? Roll call?
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, public comment on agenda items only. If you have a comment or question, please come to the podium, state your name and your concern. Please limit your comment to 5 minutes, please.
One sec, I'm a mess.
Take your time, Greg.
Greg Kears, Millville. I have a question about resolution item 10. I was looking at the resolution, and it states that the scope of services is going to be amended, it seems like on an existing contract. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And it says from time to time. So what does that mean in terms of scope of services? Does that mean every time we need them, a certain contract length? I ask because I remember this was an issue in previous commissions where we had, you know, like a contract, and then we just started adding to it, and it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So
This is-
I was wondering like what this actually meant.
This is a stopgap because we need them to address a redevelopment project right now.
Okay,
So that's why
but
it's-
what's the time to time frame though in terms of the scope is what I'm asking. Like, is this 2 years? Is this 4 years? We're going
No,
to be
it's,
using them
it's
time to
professional
time?
services contracts are only for 1 year.
1 year?
And
Okay.
the amount of compensation has not been increased.
Okay, so we'll stay the amount of that professional service contract no matter what.
Well, unless it's amended in the future.
Okay, so, wait, okay, I got it now. Thank you. I got it what you mean. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mayor, professional staff, residents, and attending and viewing on YouTube and TV. I'm Tim Cardy. I'm speaking on behalf of myself as a private citizen of this city. The agenda item I'm wishing to speak on is the letter from Mayor Orndorff to appoint a non-alternate member to our planning board as a regular Class 4 member. I have a few questions on this appointment. Was this candidate interviewed by any of the commissioners? Were the two planning board alternates asked if they'd like to move into the open seat? Was the best qualified applicant chosen for this appointment? Thank you for your answers. I appreciate them. I ask these questions because both the mayor and the vice mayor have made public statements about the importance of the board members that are appointed. Past practice has always been that alternate members move to a regular seat on the board when there is a vacancy and new members are appointed as alternates. The alternate members have invested time in participating in the meetings despite not being a full voting member. They attend and serve so that there is always a quorum to make sure that actions can be taken at meetings. They have and continue to serve, which makes them experienced and valuable to our city and to our planning board. Mayor Orndorff's appointment is going against this practice. She can't claim she doesn't understand this practice. It has even been stated in an email from our city clerk to Mayor Orndorff, and I'm going to quote it because I did open a request on this. Alternate members in good standing typically get the opportunity to move into regular member status first. First, alternate members. Appointing an alternate member to the vacancy is one way to ensure that those with experience serve the board. The experienced candidate moves up. In the last 2 months, there were 2 applicants who filed out the application. The person being appointed tonight, which has listed their experience on their application, again, another open request was done. He is being a U.S. Navy veteran. I'll thank him for his service. retired from the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and previous small business owner and a resident of the city for 35 years. The other applicant, who applied 22 days prior to tonight's appointee, listed their experience as the following: U.S. Navy and U.S. Army veteran. I thank him for his service. Associates of Applied Science degree in Industrial Technology. Master certification in Project Management from Villanova. Member of the Project Management Institute. Previous Millville Zoning Board member. Project manager for PSE&G Nuclear Power Plant. And he has completed the mandatory training to be on the Planning and Zoning Board. I verified this through the New Jersey Planning official website, along with his other experiences. How can an existing alternate member and somebody that submitted their application, who is more qualified than tonight's appointee, be less qualified? It appears yet again, that a neighbor, friend, and a campaign supporter is more valued than the actual experience. Vice Mayor Silly, these words are going to haunt you. He stated at the February meeting that the mayor agreed with the statement that, and I quote again, "What we don't need is an activist that doesn't want to stick to the plans. If we're going to develop the city property, we need a proper plan, and we need people to stick to the plan." The statement you made, Commissioner, speaks volumes when it comes to interviewing candidates, not only for the zoning board, but it's even more important when the mayor makes appointments to the planning board. Thank you.
Can I respond just generally?
Yeah, sure.
You have to understand that the way that members are appointed to the two boards is different. The Board of Adjustment is more of an independent board. The Planning Board is the mayor's board. The Board of Adjustment members are appointed by the governing body collectively. And that would be, there might be a need to conduct interviews so that board members can make a decision. The Planning Board is different. The mayor is entitled to make the appointments. They appear on our agenda normally as a letter from the mayor that the board simply votes to receive and file the letter from the mayor. One of the reasons, and I don't know why the mayor may have selected one person over another, but the alternate members may have been members who were appointed by a previous commission. There was an election. The mayor was elected. The mayor might choose to appoint someone else. That's her prerogative. She's the mayor. She may want to select the people that are going to be on the planning board. That's how the government is supposed to work. But the two boards do function differently. The members are appointed in a different manner. And there's a reason for that under the municipal land use law.
And I understand that, City Solicitor Russell. My point of making is we're passing up qualified candidates, maybe even overqualified candidates with previous experience, and the city's already paid for this one candidate who got denied, already paid the money for his training. And I don't know the other candidate because I don't want to be accused of that. But I've been hearing that we want to move this city forward and forward and forward, and we're putting people in places that can do that, that has the experience to do that, but yet here's disappointment.
Good evening, Patricia Kears. I have a question on resolutions. The number one, the True Leave First Amendment, when I clicked on the link, apparently the link was broken because it said, "We're sorry, this is not a web page. There's not a web page matching your entry." So I wondered where this property is and what is the company? I'm assuming it's a cannabis related.
This is in the industrial park, and an agreement of sale was previously approved. And this is really the last thing, or the last step before they go to the planning board, which I think they're in the process of doing, to apply for site plan approval.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So it's very advanced.
Okay, and then my next question is Resolution 20.5. There's the certification of availability of funds for tasers, and I know there was a grant given for that. But if you look at the certification, it says contract for water.
Who's got the
I'm a
certificate?
little confused by that.
Certifications funds actually came out of what's commonly well, you'll see it, American Rescue Plan Act.
Right,
So that's COVID money, basically.
right.
So,
I just didn't know why it said contract, emergency contract for water.
Oh,
this is Axcon Enterprises, is something mixed up here?
Axon Enterprise does do tasers,
Yes,
Yeah,
actually,
that's-
we're
but I
buying
just
tasers
didn't
from
know
Axon.
what emergency
Yeah.
contract for water was. I mean, do you throw water
know
on the
where you see
people
water.
before they're tased?
Oh, it says
or-
water on here.
Very good catch, Mrs. Kear.
Why does it say water? Yeah, call Marcy,
Yeah,
find out why it
please.
says water, probably typographical error.
I was looking on the resolution for that.
Oh, sorry.
No.
And then resolution number 20.8, there's an extension. When was this grant given that there has to be an extension?
Safe
Three
Streets.
more months.
Where's she
Up
at?
top,
28.
this one, the resolution for the New Jersey Department of Transportation. The FY 2020 Streets and Roads, Safe Streets, that one, Mrs. Kears?
Yes.
Yeah.
210,000?
It's for
The extension.
210,000 for sidewalks on Sharp, between Archer and North High.
Oh, it's being extended until December 21st. Again, because of, well, a lot of stuff wasn't done, let's just say that. So the Department of Transportation has the option to extend the funding for that if we request it. We requested it, so they extended it.
Okay.
You asked when it was awarded, it was June 21st of 2022, that's in the resolution.
Okay.
2020.
Correct.
Or 2020, no, it says
No,
2020.
2022.
2021?
According to the resolution, it was a 2020 Safe Streets to Transit Fund, okay? So it was from 2020 funds that we contacted the Department of Transportation, city engineer did, so that we could use that money in 2022.
Okay.
It was sitting there.
So it was awarded in June of this year.
It was awarded in 2020.
No, it says
Well,
contract for the project.
The funding
Project
is
was awarded
kind of misleading.
when we get it. Right, okay.
And then I have just one more question on Resolution 20.4, the DeSantis agreement, specifically the agreement under item number 8, where it says the removal of any condition or there being site plan approval before the property will be conveyed to the DeSantis Group or its designee. Does that mean the city is on the hook if they find environmental problems?
No.
No,
not-
in fact, if you read the memorandum of settlement agreement, and specifically if you read paragraph 11, which provides that, and I read, the parties agreed that the original terms of the purchase and sale agreement dated February 4, 2020, including without limitation, the provisions pertaining to the environmental remediation and condition of the property are amended by this memorandum of agreement, but otherwise will remain in full force and effect. And so the bottom line is that all of the environmental provisions of the contract remain in effect, which protect the city, because the city had title for a very short period of time.
Right.
And obviously was not responsible for any of the pollution.
Okay.
But we also didn't want to be liable on the theory that we were in possession of some report, and we didn't disclose that. So we wanted to make sure that that was clear.
Okay. And then one more question under number 8. The long-term tax abatement for the property for a period of 15 years, is that going to be the same kind of property tax abatement that like Serta or Sealy Mattress Company and T-Fall got, and after their 10 or 15 years, they booked and left us with vacant buildings?
Let me explain this one to you, because that's a very good question. So currently, right now, we have a whole lot of interest in development. So when a developer comes to us and they're asking for tax abatements, we're basically telling them no. They can have the 5-year statutory required tax abatement, but other than that, you're not going to get one. This property, however, is a really pretty special case, and you read part of the agreement, right? So Mr. DeSantis is paying for the demolition. The demolition is $4.8 million. The buildings are pretty close to falling down, and if one of them falls and we have to demolish it, it's still going to cost $4.8 million, but the taxpayers are going to get stuck with that bill, and we're going to have to bond for it, so you're going to get stuck with the interest too. Additionally, this was awarded by mediation, and myself, City Administrator, Mr. Campari, Mr. Russell, Mr. Barker, and Mr. McQuaid went there for the first one, and then we had a second one via teleconference. But also, the lawyer's fees involved, just to give you some example, if we keep going with this process, okay? When I talked to Mr. Barker, who was handling the court case, he told me it could go anywhere from 2 to 6 more years if everything were appealed. So just to give you an idea of what the lawyer's fees on our side were so far. So Mr. Barker was paid $48,000. I signed another check for him today, I think for another $6,000 or $7,000, so that would be $56,000. The big cost is in the environmental attorney. Now, I can't tell you the exact numbers. I could get it broken down, but it'll take me a couple hours to do that, so I didn't really bother to try to get it broken down, but we also have environmentals going on at the airports and other properties. So for the last 5 years, our environmental lawyer was paid $1.2 million. All of it well earned, because a lot of it at the airport saved us a ton of money in another manner. So I'm going to just take a wild guess and say $500,000 was for weeds. You add all that money up, you're at over $5 million, or real close to $5 million by the time you add all these costs up, should we keep going. So we could not give him a tax abatement, we could not have a deal. We can sit here and look at that crap for 6 more years till we have to go tear it down, because you can ride by and you can see stuff falling off buildings. Anybody can do that, right? The land is basically valueless to us right now. It's a detriment. It's worth less than, right? You got to invest all this money to make it worth anything. So we talked about this. I talked about arbitration before several times during the meetings, during the course of the last, I don't know, 3 months, I guess. If you look at and one other thing I really nearly forgot. So taxes haven't been paid on this land since 2008. It's the last time taxes were paid. Those taxes amounted to, I believe, $50,000 for the whole year. So there you have, a decade and a half almost that taxes haven't been paid on the land. Last time they were paid, the total was, let's see, the total. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, total payments, $50,711.10.
Vice Mayor, I can tell you that when the city foreclosed on the tax lien, that I think there was $400,000 in back taxes that were owed, and the owner of the property was GGI, and GGI challenged that state court foreclosure judgment in the city's favor in bankruptcy court, and the bankruptcy judge set it aside. And so at that point, we're going to lose title to the property, and we weren't getting paid any of the back taxes. So that's why we got into this resolution that involved Mr. DeSantis, because otherwise we would have had to file an appeal to the Circuit Court of Appeals, and who knows what the outcome of that would have been. But there have been no taxes paid, I think, since about 2008.
2008, that's correct. So when you add all this stuff up together, in order to make this deal happen, and it went through the mediation process, so this decision comes from the mediator, we have to agree to it or not agree to it. So that's what we're going to vote on tonight, whether to agree to it or not. I think it's a pretty good deal for the city. What happens to it after the demolition will be decided in the redevelopment plan. You'll see there's provisions in this memorandum of settlement for reversion of the property if certain things aren't done in set timelines, so those parameters are there to protect the city. I think everybody did a pretty good job, negotiating this. And that's why there's that tax abatement on this particular property.
I'm not criticizing, I
No,
just
I'm
want
just
to question
explaining
these
it all.
things.
That's why it's all there.
Okay.
I can clarify this too for you. I
Okay.
spoke with Marcy, and she says she uses a template when she does these, and that was inadvertently left in.
Oh, okay.
But she said you could look at the last meeting's
Been there,
chapter.
done that.
Right, the chapter 159 that was done at the last meeting shows that the funds are available.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Angeline Brumall, Millville. Ordinance first reading. I apologize, I'm really having a hard time like this, and I'll explain at the end why I'm struggling right now. 17.1, I strongly am in support of it, and I think the whole city should be aware, anyone at home watching, that this is clearly something that is going to be good for the dirt bikes and the quads and the riding down the street. And I think that's really good that we're finding a way to keep our officers safe and our citizens safe, and yet reduce the illegal dirt bikes and whatnot that are causing the streets to be unsafe. So I think that's a great option, and I support that. I also support the resolution of the purchase of, resolution number 6, the purchase of the EMT power stretchers. I think it's a really good thing. Supporting ways to keep the public safe is always, it's something that every commission that I've ever paid any attention to always says that they're going to do, and it's really great to see it actually being done. So I support those things. I do question, as like Mr. Cardy did, the appointment. And while it may be the mayor's prerogative and her right to do so, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the way we've always done things, or that it's the right way to skip over alternates, volunteers. People who are volunteering their time, or people who are very well qualified to be skipped over, while it may be your prerogative, doesn't make it right. The addition of this MOU to the agenda, 40 minutes before the work session started, is what's got me shaking. 40 minutes before you guys all sat down, a 15-year pilot was added to the agenda. You're being asked to commit to a 15-year commitment with 40 minutes of preparation. 40 minutes. I can't even absorb it that quickly, all that's entailed in this. This is a huge, huge commitment that the public deserved in the spirit of transparency should have been put on that agenda. At the latest, I'm glad you find this funny, Ms. Orndorff. Would you like to say something? Would you like to
I
interrupt?
don't find it funny.
Oh, you just have a
There's
smirk.
some things that we can't leave transparent as we are in
Then-
mediation with things. That's why we're in closed session.
No, I understand that. I don't know why you think I've never stood here before. I don't know what the smirk is for. Again, in the spirit of transparency, 40 minutes before the meeting allows no one the opportunity to learn and acknowledge and get in touch with council and review a 15-year pilot. Why the last minute? Why 40 minutes? When you knew about this, the city, our solicitor knew about this on May 6th. According to this, May 6th, we knew. But here we are, 40 minutes, either punking the commission, punking the community, to make a 15-year commitment for a piece of property that we were offered to have it taken down. As I recall, Mr. Sui, when you were commissioner, we had a company offer to take it down for free and demolish it, as I recall, for the recycling of the materials there.
They offered that, but it was determined that that wasn't even feasible, but that's okay.
Far less than the 4.8 million that DeSantis claims. I also recall on the way out of your last commission that dealing with DeSantis and his first MOU 6 years ago was not very well supported, and it was barely passed by a hair. I believe it was you, Mr. Sui, who supported it, and it was Mr. Davis. And Commissioner Campari on the way out said, "Don't let me down." She was opposed to it. She hesitated to even deal at all. So the fact that we haven't gotten very far in the last 6, 7 years on this particular property, maybe it's because of the way we're negotiating and who we're negotiating it with. Because I don't see this happening in 4 years. We can say we're going to do all this, just like we said it 5, 6 years ago, but nothing ever happened. And to take it and put it on 40 minutes is a disservice to every community member, but it's also a disservice to every voter who voted for the 5 of you, who believed in you and believed that you're smart enough to have more than 40 minutes to make a 15-year decision about what goes on in our city. I am disgusted that you would do this. I am not necessarily opposed to it, but clearly there's something fishy here that you thought we only needed 40 minutes for a 15-year commitment. Something stinks. Something stunk then 5 years ago, and something stinks now. There's only one thing that's stayed in this room that's the same.
If I can add something,
Please do.
I think the mayor and the vice mayor actually wanted this to be on the agenda, and staff made an error. And we did have the access agreement on the agenda, but the MOU should have been on the agenda, so I apologize on
Yeah,
behalf
I
of
do too, because that
wasn't
was my
done.
staff and Brock miscommunication, honestly.
And that mistake was, we realized that mistake occurred at about 4:30 today, and there was some scrambling to get that done. Now, you don't have to put that on the agenda. You can do what we did, which is to have it advertised as a closed session item, and then if the board decides to entertain it, then it can go on the regular meeting agenda, and it is the settlement of a lawsuit. That's normally what we do, but I think because of the public interest in this particular project, which I think Angeline correctly cited, I think it was felt that it would be far better to make this available to the public ahead of time, because it's lengthy, it's difficult to understand, and 40 minutes is not a very long time to go through it. I don't think there's any quibble about that. On the other hand, the way that this is drafted, if you read it, the board has to take action by today. So it had to be addressed at this meeting. It can't be postponed to another meeting. If this is going to fly, it has to happen now. The reason why that's in everyone's interest is that starts the demolition clock running. And I think that if this gets passed, that that would really be good for the city if the Wheaton Glass Factory property is demolished.
I did instruct staff to put it on when the agenda was out, and it was not done. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it wasn't called till today at 4:30. I wasn't happy when I found out. Therefore, that's why it was put on. And I knew that somebody would get up here and say something about something smelling fishy or not being happy because we were trying to hide something, which was precisely the reason that I told them to put it on. So why normally they do a very good job, they dropped the ball on this one. All right, so what's done is done. It has to be voted on today by order of the mediator per the agreement. So it's going to get voted on, and I sure hope that it's still a good agreement, whether you had 40 minutes or 4 days to review it. And hopefully my commissioners think the same way, which we'll find out shortly.
Is Seeing nobody else, we'll close the public comment on agenda items only. We'll move on to petitions and letters.
Okay, I just need a motion to receive and file a letter from Mayor Orndorff appointing Timothy Spragna Sr. to the Planning Board to fill the unexpired term of Denise Arrigo with an expiration of November 11, 2024.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second on the petition to receive and file the appointment for Tim Spragna to the Planning Board. Any comments?
I just want to ask, so just so I understand before I vote, I mean, the mayor has, we don't have to, the rest of the commission don't have to get in, like, on a board meeting and interview the rest of the candidates or anything, is that correct?
Commissioner, you're not voting to approve this person. All you're being asked to do is to vote to receive and file a
File a
letter.
letter, okay.
It's like any other
I
letter.
think the person probably
Right.
would be my best choice, I think, but.
But
I
it's,
just-
but it's the mayor's choice. That's the whole point. And I guess that's why you have
Okay.
elections, so that the new administration can
Yeah, I just
decide
wanted
who's
to-
going to be on the board.
Wanted to get my question in and ask. Thank you.
Yes, per the law of the municipal land use,
Yeah.
I have the right to appoint members of the planning board, alternates as well. The alternates, it does not state in the law anywhere where I have to ask or the alternates are to step up into the unexpired term of somebody who vacates a spot. Mr. Sparagna will only be filling the unexpired term till 2024. We still have alternates that have their full terms, and we have other places available. If we could always add 2 more alternates. The alternates have a job on the board, and so do the regular board members. So that is why that was my choice. And they were interviewed. Myself and Vice Mayor had interviewed and made sure that this person is going to follow through. Excuse me, do you have comments?
I don't have no comment. I'm getting up here to the bathroom.
Okay, thank you.
May I please use the bathroom?
I just wanted to make sure you didn't have anything to say. We did interview this person. The alternates were not asked, as they don't need to be asked. I understand that is tradition. However, tradition doesn't have to stand if we feel this person is going to follow the land use plan. So that was mine. So any other comments?
Yeah, just one, look, when administration changes, goals change. We need people in particular places to affect our changes, to affect our policies. We have the right to do that. In this case, the mayor has the right to make this appointment, and she did it. So people can object. I'm sure there's people that didn't vote for us that will object. I'm sure there's people that might not like it, but, judge it in 4 more years or 3.5 more years, you'll get a chance to do this again, and we'll see what happens.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Abstain.
Vice Mayor Stewie,
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek,
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid,
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Report of Commissioners. Commissioner Romanek.
Yes. Good evening, all. Well, it is getting warmer out. I would like to advise, I'm sure my employees of my Parks and Recreation Department do know that they do work outside, so please stay hydrated. I did hydrate with a gallon of water before the Christopher Reeves 5K run. I almost forgot to talk about my wonderful experience where I limped for 5 days after doing the run, but all in the end for a great cause. I ran, I walked, I trotted, and I jogged to a time of 32 minutes and 17 seconds. It was a great turnout. We had about 40 runners, I believe. The weather was, some wouldn't say ideal. I didn't really care. It was rainy, it was cold, it was windy, but a great show of support through the Millville Police Department, Vineland Police with traffic control and traffic safety. I thank you to all the runners that participated. I look forward to it next year being a little warmer out, and hopefully a better time, just like throwing those baseballs or softballs at the opening day. But it was a great turnout, and we all do remember Officer Christopher Reeves very deeply. The annual fishing tournament will take place on Sunday, June 5th at the Corson Park, beginning at 9 a.m. for children from the ages of 5 to 15 years old. Fishing will begin at 10 a.m. and conclude at noon, and at that time we'll serve a lunch to all those participants. This Saturday, the Dolores Romero Foundation will have a ribbon-cutting celebration on May 21st at 9 a.m. at the adoption of their Friendship Park on Noble Street in the south of Millville. Please join us. On May 27th, Olympic Day parade will take place starting around 9:30 behind City Hall here and go down High Street, turning onto Broad Street and ending at Memorial High School. For Olympic Day to progress, I look forward to it. I will be attending the parade and as well as the Olympic Day itself. It was a great joy to me when I was in high school and then helping out all the young kids. And then now as a city commissioner, I look forward to attending and seeing hopefully the bright weather and just a fun day for all the students in Millville. Monday on Memorial Day, the Memorial Day parade will start at 9 a.m. at the American Legion, go down Buck, turning right onto Main Street, stopping at the Morris River Bridge there, doing a salute to service tribute, and then continuing on to Mount Pleasant Cemetery for the closing ceremony and remarks. That is all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner McQuaid?
Thank you. I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I can see that, there was 13 of us here. Now there's, in the audience, now there's only 12. I'm sorry that Angela left, I think she felt uncomfortable, but I'm hoping that will resolve. But there's so many people here that are caring about the city. I mean, we have Joe Sutherland, who has a group, the Alliance. There's Sean back there with his group. And I think everybody in this room cares. And Tim, I wish you good luck on this. You're welcome. With that being said, I have to let people know that if you have any leaves, please do not put them out to the curbside or any branches right now. We're not picking up branches until November. We're going to start picking them up, leaves in November, I'm sorry. And in September, we're going to start picking the branches up. But you can start putting them out the last 2 weeks of August. You should be all right to put them out then. Now, if you have leaves and you have piles of leaves and you want to get rid of those debris, put them in a large black bag a couple feet away from your trash cans, and the trash man will pick them up to remove them for you. That's the new ruling that we have down there, because the machines are tied up and they're tied up as well, doing some road repairs. They're trying to get out and fill some potholes. We're getting some more blacktop in shortly. So if you see any potholes, please let us know about that as well. And if you have any comments or anything you'd like to inform us of, ideas or anything you have, please email me at the city email. And thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Commissioner Hewitt.
Yeah.
Yes,
The landfill is still open, so you can take your brush at the landfill too if you wish to remove it there, but you just can't put it at the street.
I've got the reports for public safety for the month of April. I'll go through them quick. The emergency service, EMS, responded to 601 calls last month. Fire department responded to a total of 142 calls last month. Police report. Inspections performed by the fire department for the month, 136. That's when they go out to inspect licenses, businesses, smoke inspections, stuff like that. Millville Police Department. CPU stats for the month of April. 22 arrests, this is a community policing unit. 22 arrests, 58 motor vehicle stops, 55 summonses were issued, 17 pedestrian stops, 14 property checks, and they participated in 6 community events. The police department itself responded to 3,032 911 calls. With that, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the monthly reports.
Second the motion.
A motion is second to receive and file reports. Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Anything else?
I'm pleased to announce that we're working in conjunction with Rowan College of South Jersey. We've started an internship plan for our engineering department. So far, they've sent us 2 resumes. So we're going to be hopefully using both of those people in an alternating manner, and hopefully we can continue that program on. So that's good experience for them, helps us in the future, probably helps the rest of the county in the future. Engineers are pretty hard to come by now, so we're doing that. And then I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the tax collector's report.
Second motion.
April 2022.
A motion and a second to receive and file tax collector's report. Any comments? Roll call?
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stewie?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So upcoming, we have a planning board meeting on June 13th at 6:30. The zoning board will be June 2nd at 6 p.m. A lot of things going on in my department, busy, a lot of interest in the city, constantly working, all good stuff happening. I do just want to say congratulations to the fire department. They actually did 142 years serving our community, so congratulations to the fire department. And I know this past week was actually National Police Week, May 11th to 17th. So my brother being a police officer and a lot of the police officers that I know that I went to high school with, I really just want to thank them for their service and their dedication to our city. It's not an easy job, and I pray for their safety and to be watched over, and I just want to say thank you again to the fire department and the police. So moving on to ordinances under the second reading.
Okay, item 1 is an ordinance to vacate unused and unimproved portions of Cates Boulevard.
Make a motion?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance number 1. Any comments? Oh, we have, public hearing on this. If anybody has a comment on this ordinance, please come to the podium and state your name and concerns. Seeing nobody, will close the public hearing. Any comments of commissioners? Roll call.
I just want to comment that the public notice, or the notices were sent out to the property owners. That was a requirement by certified mail, so I just want to put that on record. So roll call is Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stewie?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
And ordinance in the first reading.
Okay, ordinance 1 is an ordinance prohibiting the sale and dispensing of gasoline or other type of fuel into the fuel tank of an all-terrain vehicle or dirt bike, which is in violation of NJSA 39:3C-17 and driven to such fueling station under its own power.
Make a motion.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance number 1. Any comments?
Yes. This ordinance, this is going to be holding the gas stations responsible. Just like Vineland does. This ordinance is what Vineland has been using for a couple of years. This is one of the reasons our Wawa out by the shopping center is so busy. It's the closest gas station for the Vineland riders. We can't stop them. We can't chase them. But we can do like we've been doing out to the soccer fields on the city property. We can get in their face. We can make things hard for them. This is a move to do that.
This really shouldn't be, this is really a local problem caused by the great state of New Jersey, its Attorney General and its governor. You know, there are laws on the books about not driving unregistered vehicles on the street for some reason. It's supposedly for safety. Don't ask me how motorcycles and four-wheelers weaving in and out of traffic, getting hit, getting killed, is increasing anybody's safety. But once again, the law-abiding citizens of this state are being punished by, and I'm just going to say what I think because that's what I tend to do, an idiotic Attorney General, and it's apparently 2 in a row. So this is an attempt to rectify this as best we can. Hopefully it'll work out. Time will tell. So that's all I have to say on that matter.
Thank you. I know this is something that Vineland just started. I spoke with Mayor Finucci about it. It's not going to solve the problem. It's going to deter them. We do need to ask the local gas stations to, help out. They need to be a part of this. It is going to put more time and effort on our staff. So I just hope that everybody kind of helps out and plays the part, and it deters these ATVs and lessens the amount of drivers we have on the road, and hopefully we don't have any other major issues. So anybody else?
It's just a step in the right direction, just to say, and on top of what everybody else is saying, this is the city's step in prohibiting and discouraging this operation of unlawful vehicles on our city streets. It's a big problem, but it's a state problem. The city of Millville is just doing its best to try to control the situation that is unfortunately bestowed upon us.
No.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Consent agenda items.
Okay, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Board of Commissioners and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a governing body member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Item 1 is a resolution authorizing the issuance of taxicab owner license to Carlos Martinez, owner of South Jersey Express Taxi LLC, for the period covering January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the issuance of a taxicab operator license to Carlos Martinez, owner of South Jersey Express Taxi, covering the same period. Item 3 is a resolution amending the designated meeting dates of the Board of Commissioners for calendar year 2022 to allow the mayor and commissioners the opportunity to attend the National Night Out, which occurs on the first Tuesday of August every year. Item 4 is a resolution authorizing adjustments in the tax and utility records. Item 5 is a resolution authorizing the insertion of an additional item of revenue in the calendar year 2022 budget, which is now available as revenue from the United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, fiscal year 2021, in the amount of $14,666. Item 6 is a resolution authorizing special assessment of municipal liens for certain properties due to expenses incurred by the City of Millville relating to board and secure, plus administrative fees in accordance with Chapter 11, Article 6 of the Municipal Code. Item 7 is a resolution amending Resolution Number 150-2022, which incorrectly identified the address as 712 South 2nd Street instead of 506 North High Street, authorizing special assessment of municipal liens due to expenses incurred by the City of Millville relating to cut and clean, plus administrative fees in accordance with Chapter 11, Article 6 of the Municipal Code. Item 8 is a resolution authorizing the insertion of an additional item of revenue in the calendar year 2022 budget, which is now available as revenue from the New Jersey Economic Development Authority 21st Century Redevelopment Challenge Grant in the amount of $50,000. Item 9 is a resolution authorizing the 21st Century Redevelopment Program Grant Agreement between the City of Millville and the New Jersey Department of Economic Development Authority to fund a project to develop a plan for the Glasstown Arts District in the amount of up to $50,000.
I make a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on consent agenda items. Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
On to resolutions, please.
Okay, item 1 is a resolution approving First Amendment to purchase and sale agreement with True Leave New Jersey Incorporated to extend the expiration dates of both the inspection period and the government approval period.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second on resolution number 1. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 2 is a resolution approving Second Amendment to purchase and sale agreement with Livoni America Corporation to approve the assignment of the agreement to Livoni Ray Management Corp. Excuse me.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
A motion and a second on item number 2. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 3 is a resolution approving redevelopment agreement with Livoni America Corp.
Make the motion to approve.
Second motion.
A motion and a second on item number 3. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 4 is a resolution approving access agreement with Anthony DeSantis, Gary Peratt, and Consencio DeSantis.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
A motion and second on resolution number 4. Any comments?
Yes. Look, there was a lot of work put into this over several months. This has gone on for years prior to us taking office. We got this done in 4 months. It's not a 40-minute process. I know you only had 40 minutes to look at it, and for that should have never happened, but it did. Nevertheless, we're bound by the terms. But I do want to thank Mr. Russell, Mr. Barker, Mr. Caperi. I want to thank Mr. McQuaid. And, you know, it was a good process. There were a lot of phone calls, a lot of arguing, a lot of bickering, a lot of debate. And overall, I think it'll be good for the city. And if it doesn't work, there are reversions. So that if it doesn't work, if timelines aren't met, the city will get the property back. We won't be any worse off than we are now. So there we go.
I'd like to say, I was at the arbitration with him, as he said, and yeah, it was a very long day, I'll tell you. Very interesting, too. We were there about almost 10 hours, going through information, and fighting back and forth. But it eventually got resolved to the issue that we're at now, so I kind of like where we're at. Before it was, I'm not going to really say because it was a court thing. So I didn't like the issues that they were coming up with at first, but on the way it was going to be tore down, but it was resolved, and now Anthony will be tearing the factory down himself, and hopefully this will be an eyesore gone and development moving forward. Anthony DeSantis gave us a presentation before. It was a frozen food facility, storage for frozen food and cold food. So they're usually big business and they hire a lot of people. So I think this would be a great opportunity if it comes through for Millville. And it would be sitting in an eyesight area for people to see, coming through for employment and to see where our city has gone. I think this commission has moved very swiftly with a lot of different corporations calling and wanting to move into this community at the airport, and I believe that they're going to come. This commission seems to be working very well together, so good luck to us all, and hopefully the city will move forward in the next 4 years here. Thank you.
You said everything I could possibly imagine what to say about this. Thank you all, fellow commissioners.
I just want to thank Vice Mayor and Commissioner McQuaid for the time and dedication to this case. It's been, Joe, I know it's been something that you've really wanted to work on, and I really do appreciate all the time you've put into this and arguing back and forth. I know it's not been easy, but we don't want the city to continue in spending court fees and legal processes, and I know that you've gone back and forth, and I really believe that this is a way to move forward with this property, and so we'll move to roll call.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui,
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek,
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid,
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 5 is a resolution authorizing the purchase of tasers and support equipment from Axon Enterprise of Scottsdale, Arizona for the cost of $130,498.82.
Make a motion to move the resolution, and with that, I have certification of funds in the amount of $30,498.82, signed by our Chief Financial Officer, Marcella Shepard.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second on item number 5. Any comments?
Yes, this is another step to increasing the safety of our police department, along with the safety of the residents and the people they have to interact with while doing their job. It's a well-needed, and it's, from what I am hearing and what I'm told, a well-accepted addition to our police department.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui,
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek,
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid,
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 6 is a resolution authorizing the purchase of 2 MTS power stretchers, 2 Stair PRO Model 6252, and 2 Lucas 3 chest compression systems from Stryker Sales Corporation of Portage, I guess that's Michigan, for the cost of $159,537.12.
Make a motion, and with that, I have certification of funds in the amount of $159,537.12, certified by our Chief Financial Officer, Marcella Shepard.
Second the motion.
The motion and second on resolution number 6. Any comments?
Yes, this is to bring 2 of our ambulances, the 2 that we received back from Inspira Rescue System when they were doing our service. This is bringing them up to date. This is taking away the manual stretchers. This is adding the CPR machine. This is putting all 4 of our units in top-notch conditions to serve every one of us here in the city.
Roll call?
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQueen?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 7 is a resolution authorizing a land sale at a public auction to be held on June 14th at 2:30 p.m. at the Richard C. McCarthy Commission Chambers. That's it.
I make a motion?
Second.
I have a motion and second on item number 7. Any comments?
Yes. This goes out to, I don't know anybody in the audience, but everybody that's watching us wherever you are. This is your opportunity to purchase land from the city of Millville. You can please stop calling me and I can stop asking the tax assessor office to contact you back on land available in the city of Millville. This is your opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
So, the way this has been done, it's been, we waited for requests, and then, more requests get added, and then it seems like it takes forever to do it. So we're gonna start doing this. It originates in the tax assessor's office, and then it goes through, Mr. Ronick, of course, he's in charge of public property. So what we're going to do is try to do this every 6 months. So that way you don't have to wait 2 years to try to buy a piece of property. So we'll see how it works out. Hopefully the people that requested the land will now bid on the land. That has been a problem before, so we'll see what happens.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQueen?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. We have a resolution authorizing submission of request to the New Jersey Department of Transportation that the fiscal year 2020 Safe Streets to Transit funds in the amount of $210,000, which is part of the funding to perform sidewalk improvements to Sharp Street and Archer Street to North High Street, be extended 6 months to December 21st, 2022, to accommodate award of contract.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
I have a motion and second on resolution number 8. Any comments?
Yes, look, there's a lot of the stuff with the road grants has changed as far as how you can combine them and the time limits with them, and we've been very fortunate to have an engineer that can work with the Department of Transportation to allow us to do these projects and not lose funding.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQueen?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 9 is a resolution reappointing Charles Flickinger as a member of the Millville Housing Authority for a 5-year term expiring on February 6, 2027.
Make a motion.
Motion. Sorry.
I'll second it.
I'd like to say I'm glad to see Charles back and reappointed. He cares about the city a lot, and he's actually was former president of the Board of Education for about 2 years, and he was vice president of the Board of Education for 10 years. So, again, I'd like to say congratulations to Charles on this, and make a motion again.
All right, Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQueen?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 10 is a resolution authorizing a First Amendment to professional services contract with McManaman, Scotland and Bauman LLC for additional scope of services.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
A motion and a second on item number 10. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQueen?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 11 is a resolution supporting amendment of Sports Entertainment District.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
I have a motion second on resolution number 11. Any comments?
Yes, this is to, I guess you could think of it as shrinking the sports and entertainment district, taking approximately 117 acres out of it so that it can be used for other industrial development.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries. And our last item that was added is item 12, and that's a resolution authorizing a memorandum of settlement agreement concerning Block 260, Lot 1, the former Wheat and Glass Factory.
Make motion.
Second the motion.
We have motion and second on item number 12. Any comments?
Yes. I've been in this ride for 7 years also, from the start to the end. We could sit here and we could just keep on going, tally up the bills, just let it go, let it go. I think this is our best move. We're putting the ball in the court of the DeSantis group. We have fail-safes in the agreement. We are not demolishing the property. That was one of the things that they were requesting. We are not paying to do that. And that's all, Mayor.
Anything else, Jim? Roll call?
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
New business?
There is no new business.
All right, we have reached the public comment portion of the meeting. Anyone who would like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name, address, and concerns. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Took me 5 minutes to get here. My name's Garrett Kenyon. Live at 1706 Wheaton Avenue. Lived at the same location for 62 years. It makes me a resident of Millville, does it? I think it does. I have two comments to make and a little laughter in between times. I stand here because we're in days that we approached a few years back called marijuana days. I remember when the first was being brought into Millville, it had already been brought into cities, and many of us held up in even talking about it because we saw the disasters of it. I'm only going to make a statement tonight basically on it. I'm not here to debate, not here to do anything else that way. But all Millville does not approve of the laws that were passed by the state of New Jersey allowing marijuana. It was not the vote came in a time of the pandemic. It was not a time where things could be expressed and debated and so forth. As a result, it passed very easily. I make my statement tonight that I, for one, am not, and I represent quite a group, not officially, but people who talk with me within the community, that we're not interested in our community being any more involved than it already is. And so there's nothing here on the agenda, but I'm kind of preparing for the future because I realize that we want to keep Millville the best community it can be. Now, I said I had something for a little laughter. In the meantime, I have a grandson who's on the pastoral team of a large church in Grants Pass, Oregon. The church, when I say large, they average on a particular Sunday more than 1,000 people. About 20 of my family, immediate family, are in the ministry someplace or another. But they had a little incident recently that happened. Their water bill all of a sudden began to jump from almost nominal. It doesn't take a lot to handle the water for a congregation, but here it was jumping 1,600 and higher numbers all in a month. And they said, what is going on? So they did a little investigating and following what was happening in that particular area. There's a lot of growing of marijuana that is illegal and so forth. And when Sunday services were finished, they were driving up in the night to the water plugs of the church and filling their tank trucks at both ends of the church. A church that size has got more than one location. And they were taking it to water their plants with because there's shortage of water out there. Well, of course, when it was discovered, now the church shuts off the water after Sunday services, and they turn it on for any times they need it in between time, but they're not ready to feed that part of the economy. I thought that was a little different. I'd never heard that one before, but it's real. It's my grandson's church. Stephen Kenyon is one of the pastors there. My third thing is tonight, very quickly. Millville is having a day we're calling Hope Day. This is about the third or fourth time we've done it. It's a giveaway time for the community, and it will be on the first Saturday of June, where it has been in the past, and it will begin at 12 o'clock, and the location will be the location where the first house I lived in Millville was. I lived on the corner at 7I Arlene Village, which was the corner of Dock and Foundry, and that will be the property that we will be using for the day. I might say that it's a giveaway time. There'll be a kids zone, community services, many activities. I know the Seniors for Life group that I lead is, we're doing socks again. We're giving away free socks to families that are short of socks. So the seniors, they have a part in keeping life together. I have some of these. I'll leave them near the door if anyone wants one. That's my comments for the evening. But it's a privilege to be in Millville, and I consider it a privilege to call Millville my home. And on Memorial Day, Sunday, it will be 66 years ago that day that I preached my first sermon in this city.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Messick here of Millville. First of all, I'd like to thank the city for the time, the effort, and the tedious hours that have been put into taking care of the Wheaton property, because I'm going to refer to it as a money pit, because that's what it's been. It's been nothing more than an eyesore and a money pit for years. I'm glad the city is now making sure that it's going to be gone as an eyesore, and it's not going to be a money pit. And us taxpayers are not going to have to shoulder the burden of the price of it as we've done other things. And the other thing I would like to thank this commission for, deciding to rearrange August's commission meeting nights, because I believe deep down inside, our city needs to show that its leaders care about the city as much as the people do, and that's what National Night Out does. It brings everybody together, and I thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Joe Sutherland, 51 Dorset Avenue. I'm speaking now as the coordinator for the Millville Municipal Alliance Committee. And for the last 2 years, we haven't been able to take kids up to New Jersey State Elks Youth Peer Leadership Conference. 1 year because everything was shut down for COVID, and the next year because the state pulled 2/3 of our funding, and we couldn't afford to send kids up to it. So this year, a grant has become available to us that we've applied for, that's going to allow us to take 14 to 18 kids which is more than we've ever taken at one time, and 5 advisors up to the peer conference, which it's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday till noon event. They leave here about 6:45 Friday morning. They're up there for the whole weekend. And it's mostly 10th to 12th graders that we take up. And it's not a program for children that have a problem. It's a program for students that are considered leaders or that can become leaders. And they have workshops. They work them from, they have breakfast at 8:30 in the morning, and then right after breakfast until 6:30 at night, they have workshops they go to. And then they have activities that they have to participate in. So they keep the kids busy from like 8:30 in the morning until 12 at night, which means that the advisors that go up are busy from 8:30 in the morning till 1 o'clock at night, because you got to do a bed check to make sure all the kids are in the beds they're supposed to be in. Because even though they're leaders, they're still teenagers. Yeah, I'm really happy about this because it's one of the programs that I think helps our students the most. And through this grant, it's letting us, bringing us in $8,000 to take kids up to this. And through all that, I'd like to thank you, because you always support the things that we do. And thankfully, with this program, we don't even need a cash match from the city, so it's being totally paid for by the grant, the bus, the students, the advisors. And it's an event where the students go up. The only thing they need to take is their clothes and toothbrush. All the food supplied. They don't have to spend any money, so it doesn't matter if the student's in a position where they can afford to spend $100 on a weekend on junk. They don't have to do that, and they come back, and then through the guidance counselors in the schools, they use those students to work with other students. And we've been doing this for probably around 25 years, and I think that we're glad to be able to do it again. And all other stuff, the baseball, softball teams, that's working. Kids are hitting balls, catching balls, throwing them back, all that kind of good stuff. And now, on just me speaking, nothing to do with the Alliance. I'm glad that the state has finally made marijuana legal. Because personally, I would rather see somebody smoke marijuana than I would drink. Because I know when I drank, I was a nutcase on the road. I wasn't a very nice person. And when I smoked, the only thing I wanted to do was eat cookies and watch TV, listen to music. But I mean, that's just me. Maybe some people want to do other stuff.
We're laughing with you, Joe.
But anyway, I would also, I mean, I know you're setting up a deal for a grow facility, but I would like to see you set up whatever type of things you need to have a business that could sell in the city. Mostly because of tax money. I forget, it was like 28,000 people on the first day that marijuana was made legal purchased marijuana. And I'm not positive, but I think it was a few $1 million that was made on that one day.
Over $2 million.
Okay. And if we could bring an extra $1 million in a year into Millville, I'm sure we could find something good to spend that on. And maybe buying cookies, I don't know. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
That's a lot of cookies.
Thanks, Joe.
No.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Before I get into everything, I just wanted to touch base on the agreement with the Wheaton facility. It would have been really great. I know it was done through mediation. I know you guys are kind of situated and binding by mediation, but it would have been really great to see us get some tax revenue for our schools out of that. I mean, knowing how the war on drugs has disproportionately affected our inner cities and our youth and our schools, it would have been great to be able to get some tax revenue out of that. And I guess 50% revenue for the city is better than nothing, but I mean, something I guess to look at in hindsight. Other than that, my name's Sean Thom. I'm a resident of Millville. I'm also the executive director of a local educational nonprofit called Our Future First. I addressed this commission 2 weeks ago regarding the Community Development Block grant process. At that meeting, I expressed concerns about the fidelity and equity of the process as a whole. To recap very quickly, I spoke about the exclusion of our organization from communication by the city that provided a timeline and grant requirements of past recipients. I mentioned how we were not informed of the process, even though we have applied for funding for the last 3 years and received funding for the last 2. I asked for clarification as to which organizations were contacted and why ours was not. I inquired as to why the CDBG lead and the mayor's assistant, Mr. Bill Davis, told us we could apply for funding, which we spent countless hours putting together our grant proposals, and then we were told that we were not eligible. I also asked if there was anything we could be done to have our proposals heard. During the commissioner comment section at the end of the meeting, Mayor Orndorff addressed some of my points. She told us that a new company was running the grant process and that they were in charge of the communication. She explained that this is why we were not contacted. She also said she spoke with their contact for the grant process about the mandatory meeting in which organizations described the proposals. She said that it was told that it was a HUD requirement and that there was nothing the city could do to help at that point. While the answers were appreciated, I have discovered through Oprah requests, and I want to publicly thank Ms. Parkinson for all the work that you've done with that, and my own investigative work, that the responses provided by the mayor were not entirely accurate. First, the city now works with a grant company called CME for grant issues. While this relationship is new, CME does not actually handle any CDBG issues. That is actually still done by an organization called Triad, who's been overseeing the CDBG grant process for years. Triad is very familiar with our organization and our participation in this process, as we have actually had them look over our grants before in the past. Second, according to correspondence that I've received from Mr. Davis, he told me that he was the one who reached out to past recipients and participants. He reached out to 9 other organizations, but not ours. I have asked how our organization was overlooked many times, but have yet to receive that explanation. Third, the pitch meeting that Mayor Orndorff said was a HUD requirement does actually not look to be a HUD requirement. From conversations that I have had with individuals who have played a vital role in the CDBG process over the last 8 years for the city, dating back to 2 previous administrations, I have learned that the requirement actually seems to be a city mandate and not a HUD rule at all. Additionally, I followed up with Mayor Orndorff and Mr. Bill Davis a few days after the meeting via email, seeking a specific HUD document where this mandatory meeting was located. I was provided with an internal document that was created by the city in 2018 that made no mention of a meeting, let alone it being mandatory. When I mentioned that I believe it to be a city policy and not HUD and asked for clarification, I did not receive a response. If Mayor Orndorff spoke with her contacts and was told that it was a HUD policy, surely those contacts who are grant professionals could have provided that to her. My question still is, where is that document, and can it please be provided to us so that we know and that the public knows that it does in fact exist? Now, all that being said, I would like to make it abundantly clear that this is in no way, shape, or form personal. As a taxpayer, I expect and appreciate transparency from my elected officials. As a community advocate and an executive director of a local nonprofit, I understand how important and necessary effective, clear, and punctual communication is to be able to create sustainable change. I have made calls to City Hall seeking clarification. I've asked to meet with the mayor and assistant to discuss these matters. I've sent numerous emails seeking answers to specific questions. Unfortunately, these attempts have been in vain, and that's why I'm standing here today asking these questions publicly. As I said at the last meeting, our organization is on the verge of closing on the purchase of a beautiful building in Center City that will establish the first community center in Millville. It will be called Reese's House and will have a large focus on our teenage and young adult population. It will be named after Maurice Lewis, our organization's inspiration and reason for existing, who we lost to an act of senseless and random gun violence in Millville almost 4 years ago on May 20th, 2018. Knowing that we're approaching that 4-year anniversary, I do need to say long live Reese, rest in peace, brother. Now, this building has had 6 HVAC compressor units stolen while it was sitting vacant. These grant proposals would have helped us cover those expenses. With the summer quickly approaching and school being out, our youth need places to go, and Reese's House would be the perfect place to keep them safe, to provide guidance, support, activities, and much more. I understand that all the CDBG money has already been awarded and earmarked, and at this point, it is improbable for our organization to receive any of those funds. I also understand that the city was recently awarded $798,000 from the State Department of Community Affairs. I know that a specific focus of that money was to create a community center and to provide for other recreational activities for youth in our city. Since we're on the verge of opening a community center on our own, any assistance that the city can provide to help us cover the expenses of these HVAC units so that we are fully up and running and ready for the summer would be incredible. We would still love to find a way for our organization, which has helped hundreds of families and is connected to our community at very deep roots, to work with the city to make this happen. We are open to meetings, conversations, and whatever it takes to help put some of this behind us and to put our city and our citizens first. We hope that our city leadership is open to this kind of collaboration. If not, we will continue to do the work that has gotten us to this point, and will continue to serve and be a voice for the people in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Can I
Thank
ask
you.
you a question on that grant? You just said about $798,000.
I didn't say it was a grant.
Oh, you said we received it for a
Yes.
community center?
Yes, in the community plan from which the Holly State Development Corporation put together, it was specific that, because this was done in conjunction with the previous commission.
So the Holly City Development Corporation got the grant, or got the money?
No, the city of Millville did.
Sure, because I didn't see it coming in, but I'll check on that.
It was, the letter was dated April 11th, and it was in the commission, addressed in the commission meeting on April 19th.
April 19th.
Pulling
I'm
up,
pretty sure that.
yeah, we got a letter for that amount.
Yeah, I'm pretty
but
sure
it
that
was
was-
for
Yeah,
Holly
through
City
them.
Development Center.
Yeah, it was for them.
It's to be used in conjunction, the city developed that plan with the Holly State Development Corporation, and it's to be used in conjunction to develop plans for the city.
I will get clarification on that money for you.
Okay,
Okay,
appreciate that.
you're welcome.
And I mean, one last thing, if we're buying that they're buying that property for $150,000 at Wheaton, can you help us out?
Unfortunately, the 130,000 went to the previous owner.
Seeing nobody else, we'll close the public comment. Closing comments of commissioners, please.
Thank you all for attending. It is warm in here, but it's only going to get warmer. Please stay hydrated. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Have a nice evening.
I'd like to thank everyone again for coming out. Appreciate all your comments. And you must care about Millville, or you wouldn't be sitting in this hot room right now. So, and Sean, I'm sure the Vice Mayor will get that information to you, and possibly maybe there's some way we could possibly help him in the future sometime.
I'm not going to be committal on that.
Right.
You know, we'll check into it.
And with that, progress.
Thank you.
Two things. One thing was very interesting. Mr. Sutherland, Reverend Kenyon, both opposite opinions, two guys I respect a lot. And interestingly enough, I don't remember if either one of you guys was here for the work session, but we did have an individual come in and wanted retail marijuana in Millville. So we told him we need to hear input from the public, and we need to do research and make up our minds. So if you have people that are opposed to it, let us know. If you have people that are in favor of it, let us know. It's important that we know that, so I'm kind of glad that you guys both seem to mention that at the same time. One of the other things we talked about at the work session was the Mananico Wildlife Area, which is closed, which is, in my opinion, utterly ridiculous. We decided that at the next meeting, we're going to have to draft a resolution and vote on it to send to our state representatives and our governor and the commission of the DEP, stating that it's ridiculous. If you can send fish and game officers to make sure that we don't go on the property, I'm sure you can send fish and game officers to make sure that those that are breaking the law get arrested. I mean, you know, it's kind of like the motorcycle thing again, right? Here we go. Some stuff just, you know, I woke up in the twilight zone when COVID started, and apparently part of me's still there. So with that, progress.
Thank you.
Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Sean, maybe we can come to some kind of conclusion. Hopefully we'll be able to look into some things. I had a couple phone calls and emails about Mananico. Yes, you know, but again, our hands are tied. State officials and our assemblyman, reach out to them. The state is the one that has decided to shut down Mananico ponds. We can put a letter together in support, asking for that help. The dirt bikes, again, we're just trying to get in their face, make it uncomfortable. That's the key factor. The Wheaton property, I have sat out there, I've been to that podium speaking against abatements. I see this as our best way to get that property developed. If this doesn't go, who knows how much more money is going to be spent, because the man's not going to leave. I think we're moving forward. Like I say, we have fail-safes. I'm confident in them. And with that, thank you, everybody, and see you next meeting.
Thank you. June 8th.
June 8th, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
What about- I
do the
forgot.
primary.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here this evening. Yes, it is warm in here. It's only going to get warmer. I appreciate everybody's comments and concerns. From my understanding, not from my understanding, Sean, Tom, when you are first elected, you are handed a spreadsheet of RFPs to review. And my RFP was given to me for our CDBG. And CME submitted an RFP for CDBG. It's public record. Okay, so they told us that they do work with CDBG. Come to find out, they go through Triad. Okay, so it's a learning process for us as a new administration. There were bumps in the roads in trying to figure everything out. From my understanding, your questions were answered as far as who was called, when. Through speaking with Mr. Davis, I made sure that the information that you asked for was received. From my understanding, I was told that it was administration. We are too late past the point for our administration to change whether you are or not at a public hearing meeting. That could change next year. However, if you're coming, you're somebody, an applicant, let's just say not you, but an applicant is coming to the city asking New Jersey taxpayers for, like, say, $50,000, I think you should be present to state your case. I didn't have to be. I don't make the decisions. My committee does. I'm not asking the New Jersey taxpayers for $50,000. There's a process that we were told that needed to be followed, and that's what we were told to do.
Excuse me, she has the floor. The public, please, the public comment portion is over. She has the floor.
We're learning. I'm sorry that you weren't there. That is the process. And next year, please be happy to apply. We're learning. And I mean, if I would have known CME was going to push things through Triad, maybe we would have made different decisions. But I mean, you purchased a $299,000 property. That's a big mortgage along with taxes, and it's a community center, which is a great thing. That's a lot of responsibility, and I mean, to be responsible to make sure to be at that public meeting. You should have, I mean, Sean, it wasn't your first go around. You'd be there. Okay? Again, I'm sorry, but they're the answers I have. I'm trying to be open with the public, okay, and give you the answers that you need. And I'm learning, and it's a learning process. As Vice Mayor says all the time, elections have consequences. We are learning, and we're trying to help the community. And I hope you continue to do what you do for our community. I thank everybody again for coming out tonight. And again, I do appreciate your comments. Everybody have a safe night. And can I have a motion for adjourn, please?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?